The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 16th day of June, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical Hours One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Friday is like right there, and then a long weekend is right over there, and
And
then
your birthday? Yeah.
my birthday.
Oh, well, you know, Sherry, last year you did Carnival, right?
No.
No, you didn't do it last year? I thought you were doing it with your birthday last year. Didn't it fall on your birthday? No?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I was around, but I didn't participate. I
Okay.
maybe did evolve one of the parties. I don't know, but go ahead.
Do you think Leanna's doing Carnival this
Heck no.
year? Oh, stop laughing at Lee. What's wrong with you?
Have you ever done carnival? I have pictures that say I have. Have you ever done carnival?
Yeah, I've done Carnival in New York City and Brooklyn on the Parkway.
I've been there. I've been
Oh,
there.
you meant in Bermuda? In Bermuda?
I meant in Bermuda. You know where I meant, but
No, I haven't participated in Bermuda. No, I haven't participated there.
and none of the parties either. Just like even.
I've never been in Bermuda during Carnival. No, that's not
uh,
true. That's not true. During America's Cup, I think Carnival happened and I was there, but
okay.
I was entertaining people who don't know what soca is, so couldn't go. Could have took them there, but I'm not quite sure they would have made it up. Okay, but hey, yeah. So yeah, it's one day closer to the weekend. Let me clarify something. So I put a post yesterday, right? I put a post up on my social media, my private social media. Well, not private, but my personal social media.
Right.
And I've been in my job since last October, I think. So I think
Yes.
people. Sherry, you said something before we came on air about what people take from certain things. What did you say? I can't remember.
That people think you're a lot taller than what you are.
Well, no, not that part, but
Not that part. Oh.
um,
Oh, yes. That people just kind of take the assumption of
right.
this is right. That this is what's going on now.
Yeah, their assumptions from social media posts are fascinating, right? I put up a post saying I never thought I'd work for another destination, but here I am. I guess a lot of people took it as a job announcement, and it was anything but a job announcement. It was really just saying, like, I actually, I'm working in a luxury destination, one that actually is one, not one that's pretending, if that makes sense.
Oh goodness.
And it's not a shot. It's really just the reality. Like, I'm finally, getting to be that. But anyway, I appreciate the plaudits. But folks, if you know me, I don't believe in celebrating new jobs. I don't believe in celebrating promotions or appointments. Why? Because I don't think the idea is to celebrate getting the appointment, getting the job. I think the celebration comes when you achieve results. I'm a results-driven individual. So the coach shouldn't be celebrating being appointed as the head coach. He should be celebrating the championship, the league title, being the best. So that's my thought process. So while I appreciate it, I'm grateful for you recognizing. I'll let you know when I deliver those results for the Palm Beaches, from the best state in the union. That said,
Excuse you.
always giving new meaning to things, Sherry. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Alex Marshall on the show to discuss Grab a Whip. This is pretty cool.
Whip it.
The
Whip it
Daily Place
good.
is a name that place, and where is it? Yeah, here it is. It's right here. It's pretty cool, Sherry. The Daily Play.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say.
All right. So, folks, we've got to have an important conversation today. We've got to have an important. Well, we have a carnival lady out there. Sam Cat Place is ready to get her wine on.
Yes, it kicks off tonight.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, look, Rusty probably isn't going to sleep the next 4 or 5 days. So, props to Big Rusty out there and all the DJs.
yes.
Name them. Look, it's a lot of work, folks. People think playing music is just press and play like on your iPod or iPad or whatever people use to play music now. Nah, it's work. It means time away from family, not sleeping, and just your neck like this. Nah, I'm just saying. Nah, hey, that's what Ibree said when he came on the show. It's like,
I agree, but it's stocking season, as they say, as the children say, which means stocking money.
Yeah. Hey, look, and after the last 2 years, hey, get it, brothers, get it. So,
Yeah.
and if there's a sister or two in there, get it. But look, we've got a conversation to have. Bermuda, we're in a very interesting time. And why I say interesting is, I said this, and I don't think I've said it publicly, but I will say it publicly now. I think, and I'm a Bermudian. My family is all Bermudian. But I think collectively, we're concerned about stuff. We care about stuff. We're angry about stuff. We're mad about stuff. And all it takes is a holiday and alcohol for us to forget about that same stuff. And then guess what? Once we sober up from the holiday and the alcohol, those problems are still there. They're still there. And I think for years, when people credit Dr. Ewart Brown for saying this too shall pass, he knew what he was saying. He knew who he was dealing with.
Mm.
They know what they can get away with. I'm going to say this publicly too. The Premier David Burt. Now, let me be clear. I do not advocate violence against anyone at any time. But the fact that the Premier David Burt can go around at a county game and cop match and Bermuda Day. Hey, take a picture with me. Folks, if you're uncomfortable, if you're not happy with the current state of the country, why are you taking pictures? Why are you speaking, hey, Premier, all that? Why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. You have to make this individual understand you're uncomfortable, you're unhappy because of these decisions that they're making. So no, be like politely, no, I'm not interested. No, we're not taking pictures with you. No, why are we so conflicted when it comes to this stuff? Like if my niece who asked for a picture with the governor asked for the premier, I would probably have to start educating her on why that's not a good idea. Now people may say, oh, the governor's a Queen's representative. Look, we're not a territory of the UK because they want to keep Bermuda. We're a territory of the UK because Bermudians don't want to leave. Let's be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here talk bad about Britain and the UK when Bermudians are the ones that are holding themselves in bondage regarding that. So back to my point is, folks, sober up, because what we're going to talk about today is a reality that's going to strike so hard your asses ain't going to know what to do. Let's go to it. So the Fed, this is according to NPR, and it was on numerous media outlets yesterday. The Fed delivers biggest interest rate hike in decades to combat surging inflation, right? Now, again, I am proud, even though only 3 of us in the group, in my guys chat groups, I'm proud that we're having these conversations in these groups. Normally we talk about sports and, other things, but we're talking about this stuff. Now, the Federal Reserve escalated its battle against inflation Wednesday, announcing the largest interest rate hike in 28 years as the central bank struggles to regain control over soaring consumer prices. Biggest hike since 1994, folks. Biggest hike, right? Now, fears of a recession are growing. By sharply raising interest rates, the Fed hopes to tamp down consumer demand, which has overwhelmed supply, driving up prices. Now, there's a few things we can say about this. Well, it's just rich people raising prices. It's not really based on any economic thing. gas
Right.
prices. These are people that just want to make more money, right? There's a lot of things that can be said. So that's one article. So now let's go. According to the Royal Gazette, Cayman inflation shoots up 11.2%. Cayman Islands, 11.2%. 11, not 11.
Mm.
I said 11. 11. You all might say he means one by not saying the E, right? 11.2%. However, according to the Premier of Bermuda, Bermuda's annual inflation rate is just 2.5% for the year to January, right? So just doesn't make sense. All right. Now let's go down to what happened yesterday afternoon in Bermuda. Butterfield Bank, the title in the Royal Gazette says, takes action after Fed's interest rate hike. Right? Now, remember a couple weeks ago, or last week, we had the CEO of the Bermuda Commercial Bank on, Neville Grant. They are one of the only two local banks that didn't increase the rates. Butterfield Bank, the Bank of NT Butterfield and Son Limited, responded to Wednesday's 75 basis point increase in the U.S. federal funds rate by adjusting its interest rates on loans and selected deposit by 0.5 percentage point, absorbing a third of the rise. Now, if you don't know what this means, let me just put it in context. If you have a mortgage there, I want to get the congregation of the TDH community together for a prayer for you.
Well,
it's not looking good, folks. And this is the question of the morning, because when the U.S., when the United States of America sneezes, Bermuda usually catches a cold. We know this. How are we dealing with this 0.75% hike by the U.S. Federal Reserve? That's the question. And folks, I'm not here to strike fear in you. We're just here to have realistic conversations. Like, we're going out partying and spending money, drinking, going to all these parties. But when it's over, when we're sobering up, what next?
yeah. Someone on my WhatsApp status listed all the parties and said, I hope your bills are paid. On top of it.
Well, Sherry, honestly, it's a serious statement. And I tell you why it's serious, because we want to live life. We want to enjoy our lives, right? But all those people that were told, oh, get a house and put 10% down or 20%. Remember that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My mama used to say it. I say, Mama, I ain't no dummy. I get how economics works. I think you honestly, and this is no disrespect to anyone in the audience, if you understand economics, you would never go in with 0 to probably 15%. You cannot. I mean, your mortgage can go from $1,500 a month through the roof. You have no control over that.
And when you say 0 to 15%, you mean putting down 0 to 15%, or?
Oh, yes. Sorry, put down.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, Sherry. Yeah. So, I think one of the local banks, I believe it was Zero Dawn back in the late 2000s in Bermuda.
Yeah.
And people were saying jump with it. And me and my boy, he's very conservative in his thought, like, no way. But right now, folks, I've had family members, oh, I'm paid for my house. I weren't taking trips in this. Brother, I would rather explore this world than to live a life in debt where I couldn't live. We have been made to believe in the American dream, which is really a nightmare. The American dream is not a dream. It's a nightmare. The idea that we should, people come back, oh, well, it's better to earn a house than paying rent. For who? Because at the end of the day, they're one and the same. If you're paying a mortgage for 30 years versus paying rent for 30 years, ask yourself who really wins. Paying a mortgage, if you're paying rent to a complex, you at least have amenities and
amenities,
right? You're paying rent, a mortgage to a bank. They're burning you you'll probably pay it double what you would have paid for rent. But the idea that has been put in our heads that we need to own a piece of something has broken the spirit. We haven't even come to our senses that a house that was easy to purchase 30 years ago, 40 years ago, regardless of your salary, is near impossible now because of rates. But because of the American nightmare, we now have people who can't live, Sherry.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jamal, I was a part of that American dream, I would say. It wasn't a nightmare per se at the time. And that's how it starts off.
Mm-hmm,
I purchased a house, I believe, back in 2003.
mm-hmm,
And I was that person that was zeroed on a FHA loan, which is, you have different loan programs out here in the United States. And it was great. However, everybody else who was doing different loan options went with what was it, interest only.
mm,
So if you know anything about mortgages and paying one, if you pay the interest only on there, there's at some point you need a balloon payment. They
mm,
they make you pay a lump sum.
mm,
Hence the 2008 market financial crash.
mm-hmm,
Why? Because nobody could make any of those payments.
mm-hmm,
And thank goodness I wasn't one of those persons who fell into that trap.
mm-hmm.
The difference of it is that you have all of these different programs available. In Bermuda, it's only one.
Yeah.
It's only one. And the whole process of purchasing a house in Bermuda has just turned me away from even it being an option,
Mm-hmm.
because if you know my American thoughts that you can't close in 30 days in
Yeah.
Bermuda. Take about a year to close on a house, which means all the documents and all the things are put in place. But and if there's if there's a difference, the audience, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm.
But it's
I
just
can't
so
correct.
much. It's so much behind it in regard to purchasing in
Mm-hmm,
Bermuda, and like you said, 30 years
mm-hmm.
of and especially what you get. And right now, the market
And
in the United
hold on,
States.
hold on. I got another one for you. So marketwatch.com, folks. And if you ever want any of the articles that we reference on this show, please write us and we'll definitely get them to you. But marketwatch.com, right? Marketwatch.com is saying we could be facing years, not months, of fewer home sales, such as Redfin CEO announcing 8% layoffs. I have a friend who I talk business about every day, every day. And I think I've become a negative Nancy to this friend because every day there's big layoffs and I'm sharing them.
Hmm.
This friend employs tons of Bermudians. And I can only imagine how businesses in Bermuda are hanging on right now. Now, folks, if you don't understand the question, just quick question. Do you understand what's happening in the global economy right now? And are you prepared for it in Bermuda? The question of the morning is right there. It's really simple. When the United States of America sneezes, Bermuda usually catches a cold. How can we deal with this hike by the U.S. Federal Reserve? Like, if you don't know, just say you don't know. But we have a comment, Sherry. Teresa and Marie says the rates hike is devastating to some. I'm going to take it a bit further, Teresa. I think it's devastating to all. And I'm going to tell you why it's devastating to all. Just because people don't understand it doesn't mean they're not going to be impacted, and probably some of them in the worst way. Go ahead, Sherry. Sorry.
No, and I was going to say, if you don't really understand what Jamal is talking about, if you do look at how the market crashed in 2008, and we in Bermuda was still like, oh, everything is great. Da, da, da.
Mhm,
Fast forward to 2012, 2013,
mhm.
and stuff started looking like,
Like,
okay, no cost of living increase, no this, no that. Things started looking a little, and people are like, what is going on? Well, it took about 4 years for it to trickle down as America started to go back up, and start to catch itself. Because at one point, getting a foreclosed home was a thing because there was so many foreclosure. I got one.
mhm,
It was such a thing. So if you don't understand it, this is what Jamal is saying. This is what's happening in 2022,
mhm.
and you're going to start to feel it. And how are we going to prepare for that?
I don't think people have the answers. And, Sherry, to that point on Market Watch, they go on to say, as the U.S. housing sector cools off, housing companies are slashing jobs left, right, and center. Again, jobs are being lost. As jobs, people lose their income, and they can't pay these mortgages, right? What happens?
Hmm.
What happens? I know I'm probably sucking the fun out of Carnival weekend for everybody, but the truth is, folks, I'm not saying not to go have fun and enjoy life. I'd rather you do that than to get a damn mortgage. I'd
Mm.
rather you travel and explore and experience life and find ways to enjoy it. But the truth is, we've got to prepare ourselves for what many feel the Bermuda government is not being honest with us about.
And would you say that there's a difference, of course, between the Bermuda and the U.S. in regards to housing, just period? And
Yes.
I say that in a sense of, you're in Florida, I'm in Georgia, we can find a house or find somewhere to rent anywhere. Bermudians are limited in,
They don't have that luxury.
say that again.
They don't have that luxury.
They don't have that luxury. And so their answer to that is to purchase something so they don't have to move.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So because of that,
Well, let me answer this, because Michelle White says the obvious always, which is just not true. The rate changes make home ownership impossible. Can people secure fixed rate loans? She says, I don't know. But then she writes this sentence. This is so not true. And this is why the American dream has people so far gone. And I want to bring it back. She says, home ownership offers security, not being kicked out of your home.
which is what I was alluding to.
It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. Home ownership doesn't offer more security than renting, folks. Home ownership, you've never seen a bank take somebody's home? You've never seen people's furniture being repossessed? It doesn't. We have to, folks, seriously. If you're paying rent $1,500 a month and you're paying mortgage $1,500 a month, the results can be the same is the point.
Yes.
It's not no different. This is what I'm trying to get through to people. We have got everything. This is why I say, right? People think I'm just a troublemaker and I think differently and all this. All I'm trying to do is get people to think beyond what we've been taught and told. Think beyond what we've been taught and told. And I think many people have said it before. We must unlearn everything we've been taught and told and be re-educated. Because that line right there, home ownership offers more security, it doesn't. It doesn't. The same way they can kick you out of your apartment, that they ain't kicking you out, they're taking you.
Right.
They're taking your stuff.
And let me put it in a more even simplest form. Let's say you go to purchase a car and you go to put some money down on it. Instead of putting money down on it, you hold on to that money, get the loan, and pay the loan off sooner because the car depreciates soon as you drive off the lot.
100%.
But if you take the money that you were going to put down on it and go ahead and pay off that loan a lot faster, then the interest that you pay on it's going to be decreased just a little bit. But
yeah, the car one's always an interesting one. Sam Cat Place says
yes.
you can enjoy life with a mortgage, but it's knowing your limits and priorities. So look at needs and wants. This is key. I'm not quite sure the point I was making was that. The point is, when you're paying a mortgage in a volatile time with only 0 to 15% down, it's much harder to enjoy your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. It's much more difficult. Thank you, James. This is my point overall. You don't own a thing if you pay a mortgage. Let that be said over and over and over. You don't own a thing. Let me give Dreams a little Charlemagne the God bomb on that one. Give it to him. Give it to him. You don't own it. It's not yours.
No, you're just paying a different landlord differently.
Yes, and they own you. The bank owns you for 30 years. You don't own that damn thing, folks. Sahima Chandri says you can't find a place in Birmingham for $1,500 a month unless it's a studio. You can't find a place in many big cities like that. Palm Beach, New York,
Georgia.
Yeah, those are. I mean, I use $1,500 a month, folks. Don't take it literal.
As an example,
like don't focus on that. That's not the purpose. That's not.
We could change that to 2,000, 2,500, 1,700.
Yeah, the numbers are irrelevant. Michelle White says, "I'm talking about when the home is yours and mortgage free." Yeah, but the challenge is that majority of homes, and I don't have percentages, the majority of homes aren't that way, Michelle, because we've been taught and told to get a damn mortgage over paying rent. That's the point, right? Teresa and Marie says home maintenance costs are through the roof. Can't keep it. That's my point about rent. Okay, and again, Bermudians may not have this luxury, but when you live in a complex, an apartment complex, amenities, you got maintenance, everything. You own a home, and you got to do all that home maintenance in the U.S. Shit.
Well, talk about Bermuda, a roof, a tank of this, you got to clean, you got concrete. That turned me off as well. But yeah, you're about to be in trouble.
Liana's shouting at us, folks.
Yeah.
One last comment, Lee. One more comment. Kiara Sumner says, why pay rent for 30 years when you can pay a mortgage for the same period and in the end earn it rather than continue rent? Well, I thought I explained that. Let me explain it again. Listen to me carefully as I say this. We have to unlearn what we've been taught. So if you take up a 30-year mortgage, let's say a volatile time right now, we've been taught to believe that it's better to rent for security purposes. Better to buy homes for security purposes. What I am saying is if you're paying a bank a mortgage and interest rates keep going up, people don't even realize that if you're buying a home for $400,000, sometimes you ended up paying double that price or more. Rent, right? Now, let's be honest. Not in the U.S. isn't like Bermuda. Bermuda, you have homesteads and people pass houses on. People sell their homes out there, right? So not everyone gives their homes to children. Their children don't want homes. Bermudians have got to get to the point where we understand that you have a better chance of enjoying a life renting than you do putting yourselves in the hands of a bank for 30 years. But again, our mindsets have wired us to believe what Kiara Sumner just said. Why pay rent for 30 years when you could pay a mortgage for the same period and in the end earn it?
What's the aim?
Lisa Marie gets it. What are you paying? Sometimes we have to think about what we're paying out, not the end result. The end result is in 30 years, you may not even be alive. In 30 years, you may be so old you aren't able to enjoy the things you wanted to enjoy. In 30 years, you would have paid double, and that mortgage, those principal rates could have been that extra money to enjoy life. But here's the solution, folks, because I don't talk about giving solutions. Lee, I'm coming. I want to provide solutions because if we're going to have this conversation and I'm going to criticize this. Oh, my boy said it. He said it. I don't know you, but you said it. Jawan Haywood says single income versus dual income and or help with work from your working children. There are ways to do it. You just have to be smart and prioritize your expenses. This is what I was going to say. And he got it. The way out of this, the solution, folks, is family. Last week, I spoke about the way to deal with recessions and economic woes is for the Black family in particular, is to work together.
Yeah.
If your family owns a home and they have 2 apartments, and one of the apartments is a 1-bedroom, but it's 3 people, we need to sacrifice maybe a year or 2 years. The way out of it is not to put ourselves in a deeper hole by going and getting a mortgage. The way out of it is to sacrifice respectfully with family to be able to build toward what you really want or need.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we have created individual families, individual goals, and that's not how our ancestors and elders did it. My great-grandfather and his brothers bought properties together. Families bought properties. Let me bring Leanne in before I get in trouble. Good morning, Leanne. I'm so sorry.
No, good morning. Good morning. I love this conversation. As a young person who's out here building a family of her own, these are the types of conversations that I want to have. So, not rushing you on time, but no, I agree with you on your last statement. It's about working together. And I don't understand, or I don't know when people are going to understand that is the way forward. That is the way forward. Quick story before I go to the news. My grandfather was when I was growing up, always told me about his, I think it was Father's Club or something like that, where, the
Yes.
men would get together and they will build the homes. The
Mhm.
females would, be with the children and, feed the workers and everything like that. And I know that we're living in a completely different time at this, in 2022, but it was about working together. It was like when your family home's built, then we'll go on to the next person and the next person. So it was
Mhm.
about a togetherness, about trying to
Hmm.
build, and that's how you build your community at the same time, right? Without having to always go to these institutions um, to
She said
rely.
it better than me. She said it better than me. Thank you, Liana. No, because folks, we're literally saying overpaying 30 years to an institution. Now, keep in mind, in the US, race plays a big role in interest rates. The article
It
is
sure
in there.
does.
Folks, we've got to be better. We've got, thank you for saying the word institution. Real
And
quickly, Rosalind Famous had a question. Are you talking about collective economics? That's exactly what Leanna explained just now.
yeah.
Our grandfathers, our uncles, they had these club hands where if someone needed to buy a house, they put the money together, they dipped in it for that person, then the next person's turn, the next person. We need to, that's how we built. We didn't build by going out individually to get homes and putting
Yeah.
10% down and have an institution enslave us economically. It's economic enslavement.
And let me just add to that. I'm sorry, Lee. And when you talk about maintenance, what did you do? You called Jamal's daddy. Then you called the
Exactly.
carpenter in the group, and then
Exactly.
you called the
Yeah.
mason in the group
Yes.
that helped to maintain the household. And
Hmm.
that does stand out as well. But no, you're absolutely right. Now we need to go over to you, Lee. I'm going to take control of this.
Yeah, over to you, Lee. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and good morning to everyone that's tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone is having a great start to this thankful Thursday. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, in today's top stories, police have now named a senior found dead at a home on Victoria Street in Hamilton on Saturday as Keith Gordon. Mr. Gordon was the brother of former Premier Dame Pamela Gordon Banks and former One Bermuda Alliance MP Patricia Gordon Pamplin. Now, the police spokesperson said that police family liaison officer has been appointed to assist Mr. Gordon's relatives. Now, no further information will be released to the public until an autopsy has been performed. Detective Inspector Jason Smith thanked those members of the public who have provided them with information. However, they say they are still appealing for anyone who may have witnessed two males involved in an altercation near the ex-Artillery Club on Victoria Street in the city of Hamilton between the hours of 8 p.m. on Friday, June 10th, and 3 a.m. on Saturday, June 11th, to please get in contact with them. Now, anyone with information on this matter is asked to call 211, the main police telephone number on 295-0011, or in the case of those who have already come forward, speak to an officer whom you may know. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health was unable to provide an update on the island's current COVID cases due to an apparent technical glitch with the system. Now, a spokesperson said that the Ministry of Health's Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit database was offline because of technical difficulties. The spokesperson said, therefore, COVID statistics are not able to be provided. An update will be provided once the situation is resolved, which the department anticipates in the coming days. Now, as of last week, another 343 new positive COVID-19 cases were recorded. 7 days ago, there were 389 active cases, of which 380 were under public health monitoring and 9 were in hospital. One person was in the ICU. Now, Health Minister Kim Wilson continued her plea for people to get vaccinated. She said time is running out and reminded that current stock supplies expire at the end of this month and fresh supplies will not be available until autumn. And young entrepreneurs are getting another go at obtaining the assistance needed to fulfill their desires of establishing and owning their own businesses, as Ignite Bermuda has launched its second young adult entrepreneurial internship program, thanks to the support of HSBC Group and the HSBC Bank Bermuda. Now, the 8-week internship program aims to support local young adults' passions for entrepreneurship through workshops with industry experts and project-based internships within some of Bermuda's top startups, all of being Ignite alumni. Now, the program was launched after identifying a gap in local internship opportunities. The program began on March 31st and is set to run until July 21st. Interns will participate in workshops on topics such as customer discovery, marketing, health and wellness, Bermuda economic overview, public speaking, entrepreneurial journey, and much, much more. Now, we should be on the lookout for a number of exciting new businesses following the program. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 78 and a low near 71 degrees. Today, we'll see a return to fair weather, cooler temperatures, and less humid weather coming off the heels of yesterday's rainy forecast. Now, we can expect some sunny periods today with a chance of a light passing shower or two. High pressure is now building in to bring a largely fine and dry end to the week. Cooler than average temperatures will gradually recover over the weekend. That's all for our daily hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Lee. Sherry, what you got for us?
Today is Fresh Veggies Day. So nutritionists agree when it comes to fresh fruit and vegetables, the average person simply is not getting enough in their regular diet. An increase in daily consumption of vegetables and fruits is the entire point of today. Get ready to make healthy change on Fresh Veggies Day. This is an ideal opportunity to invite family, friends, neighbors around for fun and surprising meat-free feast. And also today is Tupac Shakur's birthday.
Ooh.
Tupac, greatest rapper ever lived. I know you all want to say the B.I.G., but I love them both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that.
Most welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
You guys too.
All right, folks. All right. They told me I was being grumpy today, Sherry. Look what my sister saying.
Really?
Uncle Jamal. I was just trying to have honest conversation with you all. You know, that's all. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And I didn't think he was being grumpy. Hey.
That's because you understand what it is, what we're talking about. You've lived it, experienced it, and you're trying to help our brothers and sisters experience it, understand. Aaron Smith, that's right. Cooperative economics. Let's go take a break. We've got Alex Marshall coming up, folks. This is another entrepreneur, Bermudian entrepreneur, doing some great things. Don't go anywhere. We've got a daily play, and I think today and tomorrow we're going to do a giveaway. And if folks, honestly, if you haven't signed up for the TDH community, you want to be one of the first to do it. The reason you want to be the first, because it is limited. It is limited. And once it's cut off, it's cut off. Don't hit us up to attend any of the events. You want to sign up ASAP. I'll say that much right now. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Fruit juice plays a major role in our food lives due to its health benefits, convenience, and sheer deliciousness. For many, it's the second beverage we encounter as infants and the one we return to as adults. Good eats in a glass. Lakewood Juice Company has been bottling the diverse line of pure organic and premium juices since 1935, and they are a flavorsome natural source of antioxidants and vital nutrients. This month, we're featuring Lakewood Organic Pure Lemon and Lime Juices and Beet Ginger Turmeric and Pineapple Ginger Juice blends. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our website so you don't miss a chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. Also, if you're on the go and can't watch, that's okay. Download the BCG Radio app, available for both Android and Apple devices. And you can listen to us every single time we go live. Shout out to everyone tuned in today. We have been down on the radio over the last couple of days, but we're back up. Some you folks in New York City, we see you, and we appreciate you. Sharon, you ready for today's guest?
I am.
All right, we've got Alex Marshall into his house. Let's bring the brother in. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Morning. How's everyone doing today?
Morning.
I like that hat. Whip.
Thank you.
All right. Back in my day when I was in school, whip or whipped, and somebody was a bit obsessed with the, other, the part. Yeah. I like the name, cool. But hey, first off, thanks for coming on. Thanks. I obviously came across an article on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh, this is going to be in Bermuda. This is cool. But just explain to the audience what is Grab a Whip.
So Grab a Whip or grabawhip.com, Whip Rideshare. We are the first decentralized micromobility service in Bermuda. You're like, what does that mean? That means you don't have to own this vehicle. You can hop on it, you can ride it, use it as you need, download our app, pick it up from one location, take it to another. You don't even have to return it to the same spot. We help you get from A to B in a fun and easy, affordable, convenient way, on demand, in the palm of your hand.
People love on demand. I mean, we live in an era where, look, I want it when I want it, how I want it, where I want it. Where did the idea come from? Like, what? Just sell out this guy?
Well, I was in the States and looking at the model over there. I used to live in LA a little bit, so I just saw they had the rise of these scooters, Bird scooters, all these other brands that popped up overnight, and they took everything by storm. It really revolutionized a lot of things, and everyone that was riding them that I saw was smiling. So I said, oh, this is something cool. So I thought, why don't we do this for Bermuda?
Folks, if people are smiling because of a product, it's probably a good thing.
In Georgia, Alex, I saw people there's a place called the Beltline, and they're zipping up and down on these scooters. And I'm like, I want to do that. But I have to admit, I'm like, am I going to be able to stay on there or do this? So it is just so cool to see so many people enjoying this. And for Bermuda has known for scooters. I used to be scared to see tourists on them. Then we moved to electric cars. What differentiates Grab a Whip from others in this space?
If you mean others in the space in Bermuda, like other options of transport, I mean,
yes.
This is just an easy way. I mean, for locals, it's something new and something different, but it's very easy to pick up and just go. It's like riding a bike, like they say. Within the first couple minutes of riding it, you'll get it. Unless you don't have balance at all, you'll get it. But in the States and for tourists visiting us, they're used to this model already. So we see tourists already just hopping off the cruise ship and they're getting right on these things like it's nobody's business. They understand how it works.
That makes sense because they are zipping up and down. I saw somebody dressed like they were going to a wedding on one day. I was like, that is so cool. So explain to the audience how Grab a Whip works.
Yeah, so because I was wondering, I'm like, do you just got a scooter and swipe a card when how does it work?
Yeah.
All right, so basically what you'll do is you can download our app, which you can get off of grabawhip.com or on any of the app stores, so Apple App Store, Google Play, whichever one you use. It's called Whip Rideshare. So once you download it, you onboard with it, you put your card on file, you put your address, everything else, register, and then basically anytime you want to use one of our electrically assisted scooters, and we have electric bicycles coming as well, but for now we're just doing the scooters for launch. You would hop on it. Well, before you hop on it, you would basically take your app. You'd open your app, and then you scan the QR code on the top of the scooter, and then basically it'll be $3 to unlock it, and then it's 50 cents a minute, which ends up working out at $30 an hour. But you don't have to use it for a whole hour. So if I only need it for 10, 15 minutes, I'm only going to pay for 10 or 15 minutes. Then let's say if I go in a store, I can actually put that same scooter on hold, and then it will hold it at a lower rate of 20 cents a minute. So if I need to go in somewhere to get something to eat real quick, it takes 5 minutes, it's only going to cost me $1, and I know my scooter's still outside. I hop back on. Or if I go to my next destination, put it wherever the closest whip zone is. So you're billed until you take it back to a whip zone. So there's generally one meant to be located within a reasonable distance of anywhere where you are on the island. So this is an island-wide service. It's different, it's new, it's exciting, and it's fun.
Okay. And I'm just visualizing myself, right? And me, get out of the way, move. But here on TDH, Alex, that we sometimes ask this hard, interesting questions, right?
Yeah.
So recently we saw that the e-scooters were being left in Hamilton. They were being cited by the traffic wardens.
Yes.
What's the latest with this situation?
Well, it's like anything. It's something new. It's disruptive. We're working with the city right now just to figure out where we're going to have areas and everything. We have ministerial blessing from TCD, so we're able to operate island-wide. We have our license application in. So he basically said, off you go. Government Estates has just given us permission to be island-wide with them. So just catching up with the city and with WEDCO and things like that. So it's inevitable. They just need some things formalized a little bit better, and they're a little bit slower moving sometimes. But if you want to see something working in action really well, go look at St. George's. This has made the whole end of that island amazing and lively. I think that is the home for Whip, actually, number one. Literally, because think about it. Every time, so if you're a tourist and you get on we'll just talk about tourists for now. You get on a ferry in Dockyard and you want to go to St. George's. You don't have a rental bike. You don't have anything like that. You get off that ferry, you see a scooter right there. You don't have to walk over that hill to get to Tobacco Bay anymore to go anywhere. You don't have to get all hot and sweaty, huffing and puffing, and then get in and be like, man, I don't even want to drink. I need to pass out on this deck chair. No, you just get on a scooter. You can ride over there. We're at St. Regis. We're pretty much everywhere in the East End. So it's cool and it's fun and it's different.
I knew you was going to mention that hill to get to Tobacco Bay. As a person that drove taxi, used to people were like, "Are you available to take us to Tobacco Bay?" We don't want to walk over there. So I think that's awesome for St. George's. Certainly, time that I will probably champion St. George's right now, but I feel like that is very awesome. How can the audience learn more about Grab a Whip?
Just check out grabawhip.com. And follow us on our social feeds at Grab a Whip on Instagram. Pretty much everywhere it's at Grab a Whip. So we'll be posting new content, new information, and basically helping educate the public on this service and how they can use it and why.
Sorry, go ahead, Jamal.
Yeah, we've got quite a few comments and questions for you. If you have any questions or comments for Alex, please shoot them and we will get through as many as possible. So let's go to Tanya Cheeseman. She's saying, is there an age limit to use the scooters and how is it managed? As you know, you have young kids with phones and debit cards.
Absolutely, yes. So our policy is you have to be 16 or older, and the TCD also asks that as well. So basically, it's like anything. You can't control if a child is going to get in a car on a bike. You can't control if someone's going to get in a vehicle drunk and drive it. Whether it's a electrically assisted kick scooter, a car, a bike, a llama, a camel, an airplane, whatever it is, you can drive it irresponsibly. It's up to the parent at the end of the day. If you're a parent and you're willing to give your child a credit card, a debit card, and say, off you go, I don't really care about your well-being, go do whatever you want, that's you being irresponsible as a parent. So any parent that's found to do that, their account will be blocked, because a child can't just make this. Children don't have debit and credit cards. So anyone, whether it's parent or whatever the account is, they will be blocked if they're not 16 or older, if we find out, if it's reported to us. And then also Bermuda BPS, Bermuda Police Services, they also may end up issuing you a ticket as well. So don't ride it if you're under 16.
Do you need a license?
You do not need a license, no.
Okay. James Burt says, great idea for Bermuda. What is their top speed on the flat?
I like that he said the flat. So 25 kilometers an hour top speed. So fast enough that you're not like, is this worth getting me anywhere any quicker? And it's not too fast that it's very dangerous, but it's also not too slow that it's pointless. If you have any type of hill, this is why it's called electrically assisted. If you have any type of hill you're going up past a certain degree, you would need to give it a kick or two to go. It won't initially go unless you give it a push and the initial inertia and kick. So on a flat 25K under ideal conditions, going up any type of hill, it's going to slow down a little bit.
Okay. We've got Sean Smith asking, how long is the battery life?
Good question. So actually, a full battery can get you the full length of the island. So if you find yourself hopping on one at one end of the island, you're like, I want to go all the way to the other end of the island. Mind you, it's going to be slower than other means of transport. I would personally recommend, I'm happy for you guys to use it and to earn the money for it, but I would recommend it. Get on a ferry, then get off wherever is closest to your destination. We solved the first mile, last mile problem. We're not trying to say get on this, take 3 hours to get to the dockyard, But if you do decide to do that or go on a lengthy journey on it, and you run out of battery, you can just find another whip and then park that whip and get on the next whip and keep going. So you can keep whipping all day, and it's crazy.
I think this is a solution to Bermuda's bus problem. And Nicole Walker actually says,
hello.
At the St. David's entrance, because I see so many people walking in after the bus is stopped. How do you know if a scooter is fully charged? How long? You already answered how long the battery lasts, but how do you know if a scooter is fully charged?
So when you download the app, it'll show you all the scooters on the island that are available right now, and then it'll show you what their battery life is when you zoom in on them. Or when you go and you scan a scooter, it'll actually show you what the battery life is on it. I mean, even if you have 50%, you can still get from like St. David's to town or something like that. But so that's the easiest way. Just look on the app, or even when you start the ride, you can see on the scooter it'll have 1, 2, 3, or 4 bars. 4 bars being the fullest.
So
yes.
Are there charging stations throughout the island that people can? So how do they? I'm sorry if you said this already. I'm like, how do they get charged if the battery is low? Then.
All right. So basically, we looked at 2 massive inefficiencies and issues in the States that were happening, and when we modeled our model for Bermuda, because we wanted to be able to scale this to the Caribbean, starting with Bermuda, and basically become the micromobility service for all the Caribbean. So what we saw were the major issues were, one, they didn't have swappable batteries, at least the current ones. The new developments in the industry with swappable batteries. I had a friend that worked with one of the major scooter corporations in LA, and I came out there and he's like, "Hey, you want to go out tonight?" When I flew in, like on a flight that got in late there, I'm like, "Actually, I want to go around with you and pick up scooters." And he was looking at me, he was like, "All right." We rode around, and it took 2 hours in LA traffic. We filled up a van. Then it took another 2 hours in LA traffic to drive them somewhere, to then recharge them, to have fleet downtime. So it was like, this makes no sense at all. By swappable batteries, we just come. The fleet is always available. You just pop in a new battery, take the old one out, and off she goes. Off she rode. But yeah, I mean, definitely solves bus problems, lacking of taxis, lacking of a lot of things. I mean, it doesn't really infringe upon them because it's not the same service. But in case, whether it's for business, for pleasure, or in case you have an emergency and just need to get somewhere, there's usually going to be a whip somewhere that you can go and hop on.
I wonder what this weekend's looking like for you.
It's exciting.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know people were saying, "Oh, going up Palmetto Road Hill." So you might see a lot of scooters, people want them dancing to soca music going up Palmetto Road Hill. So I'm just saying.
Behind a big truck. Yeah.
Feathers.
Feathers everywhere. Yeah.
I was asking, if you ride it at home, can you charge there?
No. So our team comes and swaps the batteries out. You could ride it to the closest whip zone to your home. Just leave it there. We'll bring out a new battery and put it in it as needed.
Okay. Rosalind Famous asking, one of the issues that I've seen around the world with scooters is that they are often left littered around random places. Is there a solution to that?
Yes. So back to when talking about massive industry inefficiencies. So the second of the 2 massive industry inefficiencies we saw after the swappable batteries was that we found that they were being left everywhere as litter. Mind you, they had thousands and thousands of things on the road. We've just started with 150, and we'll be expanding the fleet as we go. But what you do is basically, instead, by having it so you're built until you end your ride in one of these whip zones, that helps bring semblance to the way they're kept. They're not just left on any corner. They're put in designated areas, so it's not just a mess everywhere. So, and in Bermuda, we're pretty neat and tidy too. So we go around as well, resetting them in the evenings and putting them basically in a straight line, even with the handlebars facing the same direction. So it's presented nicely. So yeah.
All right.
Let me just ask real quick, how many do you have on this fleet, and what is the hours for the fleet that come to do the batteries and those things?
We're operating around the clock. Usually in the evenings, we're doing the swaps because there's less people
Okay,
riding in the evenings, like late night evenings. But
got
we
you.
have 150 we've launched with, yeah. And so to make the decentralized network of it work, you needed to have that decent amount, like that many. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Alex Marshall, Whip Rideshare. Follow at Grab a Whip. Honestly, bro, congratulations on this.
thank you.
One thing we love on this show is entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. And like I said, when I saw the article on LinkedIn, I'm like, look, we've got a conversation going. I hope that your work inspires others, but I also hope that you actually have created a business. I always speak about entrepreneurship and business. It's not just about doing something you're passionate about or that you like, but it's about fulfilling a need. I think what you're doing is fulfilling a need, and that is entrepreneurship 101. So congratulations. All the best to you. And if there's anything that we can do on our end, let's please reach out.
And one last thing, Jamal and I can see us, riding next to each other come this summer. So I want to see this, Jamal. I want to see this.
They're not made to be raced, Cherry. They're not.
I didn't say race.
No, I will race you, but you didn't talk about right next to me.
At 25K, you might as well be like that one scene with the.
Thank you so much, my bro. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you for the time today.
All righty.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, Alex Marshall, grab a whip if you appreciated that conversation, found it helpful. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We're going to do a giveaway too, a little hashtag giveaway, but stick with us. Daily Play, wrap it up, and a giveaway. We'll be back.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vote community, then you can't go anywhere, can you? I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robertson Richards and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrow and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right. Thanks again to Alex Marshall. Again, if you appreciate that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations so you have actual information of how things work with new businesses like his. Thanks again to One Communications Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, have you registered to be part of the exclusive CDH community yet? As stated earlier, if not, what are you waiting for? Do not miss the chance to hang out with Sherry, Senja, Phil, Larry, Liana, Maya. Not me, because I don't want to hang with you all. Anyway.
See?
Well, I'm just, I'm uncle, grumpy uncle. Folks, sign up today, honestly, to enjoy the benefits of activities and events. It is exclusive, so there are limits to it. So whether it's the shopping nights, the brunches, different things that we'll be doing, you will have to be registered to attend. So go to our website, thedailyhour.com, to register. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, it's a name that place. Help her out, folks. This is before we do the giveaway. Help her out. Help her out. Help her out. All right. Which state in the United States of America, which state produces the most cheese?
Is it Wisconsin?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't even have to put the music on. She got it.
I'm so excited.
Give him some Sherry Shake. Give him some Sherry Shake. Let me get just a gumbo little Sherry Shake. Just give him some Sherry Shake. Give him some Sherry Shake. My goodness, she got it. Wisconsin is the state that produces the most cheese. I'm sorry, Aunt Karen. She got it before you.
Idea, Karen.
Yeah,
thank you, Nicole.
They cheering for you. Someone did say Vermont. Teresa Marie did say Vermont.
No, Teresa.
Wisconsin it is. They produce a lot of cheese up in Wisconsin. Anyway, final thoughts on today's show, Sister Sharon?
I appreciate the conversation at the beginning of the show in regards to economic freedom. That's what we need to look at, economic freedom. And for Bermudians to please take heed to the information that's being provided and see how you can address it within your own family. But as Jamal said, family is the way out of it. Not saying don't purchase a home, but do it with great intention for a different outcome. As far as Alex and Grab a Whip, I can't wait. When I get on the island, I am going to say that again.
Want to try it? Yeah.
I'm going to try it. And I think Jamal and I should try it together. So it should be very interesting. But congratulations to him. I do hope that this takes off. It definitely feels like it is fulfilling a need, especially that St. George's Square to Tobacco Bay. Definitely.
But why is that always the place I think of too?
Yeah.
No, not happening. I did it as a child. But no, as far as today's conversation, folks, in no way am I saying not to buy a house. What I was saying is we have to be smarter than thinking that a 30-year mortgage is better than 30 years of rent. I want to address something Michelle White asked about retirees who can't pay rent. First off, it's no telling that everyone who gets a mortgage is going to actually live to see the results of that mortgage being paid off, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is we've got to do things differently so that when times like this happen, we're better prepared. And the way out of it, I don't like to complain, and just use like every excuse not to progress. What I want to say is that we have to discuss solutions for a better way. The way we've been taught and told benefits billionaires. It doesn't benefit us like we think it should benefit us.
Mm-hmm.
Family, family, family. This is going to mean sacrifice. It's going to mean being humble, right? So just take heed. But we can't keep going down this road because at the end of the day, the same way you can get kicked out of a rental, your house can get repossessed along with your belongings. Alex, I'm proud of what he's doing. I love this kind of entrepreneurship. Again, as I stated, entrepreneurship 101 is not about just doing something because you like it or think you're good at it or passionate about it. It's doing it because it fulfills a need. Fulfilling a need will keep you in business longer than passion and hard work. Let me repeat. A business that fulfills a need will last longer than a business run by someone with a lot of passion and hard work. Sherry, you've got some inspiration for us?
I do. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. And that's from Harriet Tubman. How crazy is that?
I like that. I want to say this as well, real quickly, folks, real quickly, because I want people, and I've never said this publicly, probably once on LinkedIn. I want to say this. I was working at Elbow Beach many years ago, Sherry, and a guy said to me, young people should be focused on creating businesses, not buying homes. And I thought it was the stupidest thing then. You can actually start a business self-funded without taking a loan out to a bank that can buy you a house, rather than buying a house, paying a mortgage, and having a bank pay. It's funny how we think not everyone can be an entrepreneur, but everyone should be a homeowner. Think about this stuff. On that note, thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a safe and great day. Sherry, it's Carnival weekend.
Come on. Happy Carnival, people.
Hey,
Happy Carnival
out there, folks. Don't do nothing Sherry would do. Peace. We're out.